How's it going, everyone? In this video, I will be teaching you how you can create great pins that you can use for advertisement on Pinterest. Now, the strategies I will be teaching you in this lecture would be really helpful for you because you will be able to create pins that will be really engaging and people would just literally want to click on them. And whatever goal you have that you're trying to achieve using Pinterest ads, you will be able to achieve it effectively and efficiently. The type of pin that you want to create and promote on Pinterest really depends upon the goal you're trying to realize. Now, I have listed three types of pins that you can go ahead and create, but it all depends upon your goal. You can be as creative as possible to come up with different methods that will help you achieve your desired results. So let's look at the three types that Pinterest personally recommends each advertiser to use. So the first type is promoted pins for awareness. So if you have a product or service for which you're trying to spread awareness, then you should go for this type of pin. A great example is present in front of you. The first example, as you can see right over here. The second type of pin that you can create is promoted pins for intent. So if you want to show people that a certain idea is achievable, then you should definitely go for this sort of pin. As you can see, another example is present in front of you, the second one right here. Then lastly, we have promoted pins for action. So if you want the user to take an action after seeing your pin, then this is the type of pin that you should create. As you can see, the third example is of type 3. Now don't worry, I will cover each one of them in depth. So as mentioned before, the first type is promoted pins for awareness. Now the goal of these promoted pins should encourage the pinner to consider the idea. Now here are some great examples of this type of pin. So, if your goal is to basically show people your new product or service, whatever you have, then these are the pins that you should use. As you can see, the first pin is basically promoting these new pair of shoes, and it is constructed very brilliantly. And the second one is promoting this dessert dish that is present in front of you. And then lastly, we have this overnight oatmeal. So yes, if you have a new product or service that you want to basically spread the word across, show people what a brilliant idea this is, then you should go ahead and follow the strategies that I will be talking about now. So if your goal is this, the first thing that you should do is make use of compelling images and add text to images. So basically, this is not only true for this type of pin. You should follow this strategy whenever you're creating any type of pin on Pinterest. Images are really important, and these are the first thing that people see. And basically, must have heard of the saying that first impression is the last impression. So images are the first impression of your product, and they should be designed brilliantly so that users just fall in love with them and go ahead and read more about your product. And in order to make your images better, what you can do is basically add text to your image describing what your product or service is. As you can see in the second example, we have a text overlay in the pin image itself. So it's a great way to promote. Now, you must be wondering how you can create such images. Well, there are tools available like Canva, and it is a free tool where you can basically register and create amazing pins. In fact, I'm going to show that tool to you right now. So right now I am at canva.com, and you can access it again by going to this URL. So uh, basically I have logged in, and all you need to do is sign up for this website. You can sign up using Facebook or any other social media website. So really simple, and you'll be presented to a screen like this. Obviously, if you're starting new, you won't have projects like I have in front of me. So when you are at this website, the main dashboard, what you need to do is basically click on more, and Canva will bring a lot of options in front of you. And your goal is to find the pin and trust graphic. And as you can see, it is present right over here. So click on it and Canva will basically create this new panel for you where you can basically design this pin according to your own preference. Now, there are plenty of images available in front of you for free. However, there are many paid options as well. But the paid options are, very cheap, maybe $1 or something, and it's very, very affordable, especially when you're starting new. In fact, when I started out, I just basically used the free images. I didn't even, purchase anything. So on the left side, as you can see, there's an option for text. You can basically design this pin according to your own preference, and it would turn out to be really, really good. So this is a free method that you can use. Besides this, there are options like going to Fiverr.com or Upwork.com and hiring a graphic designer who can basically make a pin like this for you. And that would be an option for much more advanced people. If you're starting out, then I highly recommend just Canva. And Fiverr, well, it is a cheaper option than Upwork, but still, your goal should be to spend the minimum amount possible, as much less money as possible. So after that, you have some stock photo websites as well, where you can basically purchase stock photos, images that are just clicked by other people, that you can just purchase and use them for your own business. And that's another option. So it really depends upon you, your budget, and whatever goal you have. So the second factor that you must consider every single time while creating a pin is called as detailed descriptions. And descriptions are really important because after viewing the image, what the user does is basically view the description, read more about the product before actually clicking on it. And the description should be as simple as possible. It shouldn't be too lengthy nor too small. And basically, it should break down the steps and make the task simple for the user. And it should describe the product or service that you are offering very well. So if the description is good, your CTR, the click-through rate, will increase significantly. The third tip that you should follow is create vertical pins. And basically, vertical pins will be these lengthy pins that take up more space when they appear on the newsfeed of the user. So whenever a user sees a pin that is, lengthy and it takes up more space, then obviously it will grab more screen of the user's laptop or computer screen, and obviously the CTR will increase significantly. So yes, if you are creating pins, then they should be vertical. And in order to create vertical pins, basically you can adjust the dimensions by increasing the length, increasing the height, and decreasing the width of the pin. So that should work great for you. And the last factor is innovation. Creativity is always welcomed by customers, and you can be creative in different ways. You can be creative while creating the image of your pen, or maybe you can be innovative by making the description of your pen different, something that is not being done already, something that will work great according to you. You should test out as much as possible, be creative, and that's the way to success on Pinterest. In fact, not just on Pinterest, on any other advertisement platform as well. The second type of pin that we will cover today is promoted pins for intent. Let's say that you have a product or service that you do not want to promote directly to the users, like in the pin I showed you before this. Let's say that you want to promote your product or service using a different medium by showing them articles, or I don't know, driving them to your website so that they convert into leads so that you can promote them using email or something else. If your goal is that, then you should create such pins. They are promoted pins for intent. And these promoted pins should make the pinner feel the idea is achievable so that they consider it. And the first factor that you should consider while creating these type of pins is obviously following these methods that I showed you earlier, the factors I talked about earlier, the basic factors like having a great image, being innovative, and having a vertical pin, and everything I talked earlier. Now The second factor that you should consider specifically for these pins is making use of lists. So making use of lists is really, really important. And people love to save pins that have a lot of lists. So because it's very, very simple logic. When you see a pin that is constructed in a very simple form, in a listicle form, and not in just, boring text that takes minutes or a lot of time to basically read, then obviously people will love that. It's simple to read and they will save it and repin it. So this is a great way. As you can see, there are some beautiful examples present in front of you. Five sandwiches you've never tried before, and this is a list form, as you can see. And you should create pins. Now, basically, when users click on this, they will be redirected to the website, and the person advertising it can achieve whatever goal he/she is trying to achieve. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say, as you can see on the left, you are also in the fitness niche, and you have a product that is related to the fitness industry. You want to sell it. Now, instead of advertising your product directly to pin and trust users, what you can do is basically create a small article that says exercise tips for a busy schedule. And then you can target people who might be busy according to you, and basically show them this article. And when they see this article, they will click on it, they will read it, and then you can basically achieve your whatever goal you want. Like, you can add them to your email list, or basically, or maybe just promote your product in the middle of the article, showing them, hey, this is the best option for you. So this is a great idea, and promoted pins for intent is the way to go for you. Then the last factor that I would like to cover for this type of pin is called as add how-to guides. So basically, you should add how-to guides and show people that how a certain thing is possible. Now, this is a really, really great example in the third pin of appearing in front of you, and it is being advertised by L'Oreal Paris, which is a huge company, and they are basically showing I think this is a beauty tip kind of how to guide or something. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it, but they are showing female audiences that this certain thing, how this certain thing is done. And yes, basically, if you are in this niche or any other niche, you can basically create a pin that shows users how to achieve a particular task. And once they see the pin, they will repin it, maybe go to your website and buy the product eventually, or the service, whatever you are trying to sell. So this is a great way, and make sure that your pin has these factors so that you get the best results possible. So lastly, the third type of pin that we will be covering today is promoted pins for action. And very straightforward. If you want to create a pin for which after seeing the pin you want the user to take a particular action, then go ahead and create such pins. Now, the first factor that you need to consider while creating these sort of pins is considering the same points that were mentioned before. Same points as above. I know I'm repeating this again, but guys, everything is interconnected. Just because you are creating this type of pin and you follow the points that I'm mentioning over here does not mean that you forget the points I mentioned before. You do need to have a great image. That is the first impression. You do need to have a vertical image. You need to have a detailed description and every single thing that I mentioned before. So it's like a follow up. You need to follow every single thing, every single point that I'm covering after each slide. So once you have the same points covered before you have a great pen appearing, then you should include the much obvious call to action at the in the description or maybe in the image itself. Now, the call to action can be literally of any type. Depends again upon your goal. The first call to action can be buy now. If you're selling your product directly, then just add a buy now in the description and the image, and just ask people to click on it. And the third option you can second option that you can add is click to know more. They can basically click on the pin to know more about the product. Or if you're trying to gather emails, then your call to action can be according to that. So again, guys, I'm repeating it again, it all depends on the goal you're trying to achieve. So these are the three types of pins that you can create and promote in order to achieve the best results using pin and trust ads. Now, obviously, this is not a checklist, and you can, break the rules, be creative, be innovative, and make a pin of yours. But these types are recommended by Pin and Trust themselves, and it should work for you definitely. So thank you so much for watching this lecture. I will see you in the next one.